Hello and welcome. This is Martin with My IELTS Tutor. I want to welcome you here today. Today we're going to cover our 10th lesson for IELTS General Writing Task 1, the letter. And today we're going to talk about cohesion. I want to talk a little bit about that for IELTS for this task and how to bring up your score from 6 bands to 8 bands under this category. Now remember, cohesion and coherence is one category or one criteria that's considered for scoring, and it carries 25% weightage for the total scoring of this task. Now let's begin. Now, coherence and cohesion, what are they? Well, coherence refers to the flow of what you write and how easy it is to read. Really, it refers to the logical progression of your ideas. And now, cohesion refers to the use of connectors that help connect your ideas. So, coherence here talks about how your ideas flow, and cohesion is how those ideas are connected. And so they're tied to each other. If you have poor cohesion, you will have poor coherence. If you have poor coherence, you will have poor cohesion. So now going back to cohesion, as I said, it refers to the use of connectors that help connect your ideas. And so, but it goes further. If we extend this, it's how sentences are linked together to form meaningful paragraphs, and how paragraphs are formed to create your letter, the meaningful letter. So now let's go to the IELTS descriptors. Now I have descriptors for band 8 and band 6. We'll take a look. So for band 8, it says sequencing information and ideas logically, manages all aspects of cohesion well, uses paragraphing sufficiently and appropriately. And then for band 6, it arranges information's ideas coherently, and there is a clear overall progression of your ideas. It uses cohesive devices effectively, but cohesion within or between the sentences may be faulty or mechanical. And then it may not always use referencing clearly or appropriately. So what does all this mean? So this is kind of really technical language here for the descriptors. So let's take a closer look. Now, breaking it down for band 6, we want to start with band 6 because that's what we're going from. We're going from band 6 to band 8. So let's break this down. Now, the first point arranges information and ideas coherently, and there is a clear overall progression. Okay, this means that the flow and order of information you write. This is the flow and order of the information that you write. And it applies to the paragraphs and sentences, and what is written must be, and this is the key point here, what you write must be easy to read and follow. And that's basically what we refer to as coherence. What you write should be easy to follow and understand. And so this means it must be clear and logical. Now, number 2, it uses cohesive devices effectively, but cohesion within or between the sentences may be fairly faulty or mechanical. So what does this mean? It means using conjunctions and connectors effectively, and that's the accurate use of these. And another thing, so that's, conjunctions link clauses to form sentences, and then connectors generally link sentences to other sentences. So that's the importance of connectors and conjunctions. And then now Point 3, may not use referencing clearly or appropriately. So we're talking here using reference pronouns, the use of reference pronouns. A lot of times I see specific nouns repeated, such as names of places or persons or specific objects. And rather than name the specific object, you should be using pronouns such as those or this, these, that, it, and them, and so forth. So you're using, and what that does, it helps avoid repetition of key nouns. And that's really important. Now, let's move on. So how do you go from band 6 to band 8 for cohesion and coherence? Well, there's 3 things you should do and consider. First, organize your letter logically. The pattern should be clear in both paragraph and sentence levels. There should be a logical pattern of your ideas. And then you want to use linking words and phrases appropriately. These are your conjunctions to connect the ideas and details in your sentences, and linking words to connectors to connect your sentences to each other, okay, and using them effectively. So this means in some cases you may not need a connector, so you don't use it. In one sentence you may need a connector, and then you use it and use the correct one. And then finally, use pronouns to reduce repetition. Now, organizing your information logically in paragraphs. So what's the best way to do that? First of all, consider your structure. The structure is really important. And I've talked about this in several previous lessons. And you should have a clear idea of what the structure of how the structure of your letter should be. So we have our greeting. For instance, Dear Gregory Smith, or Hi John, or Hello Manpreet, Dear Dr. So-and-so, for instance. Then you have your opening statement. This is the first paragraph, and it states the purpose of the letter, for writing the letter. Then you have your body paragraphs, and you have a body paragraph for each of the bullet points you're given. Remember, you're given 3 bullet points, and so you should have a body paragraph for each bullet point. Then you have your closing statement, and this is one paragraph that kind of wraps it up, wraps up and closes the letter. And then you have your signing off. For example, yours sincerely, yours faithfully, those are for formal tone. Then you could have other tones for other signing off for informal tones. And then your name, and you do need to give a name, either your name or a made-up name, doesn't matter. Now, organizing your paragraphs coherently, that's our first consideration. So now, besides using this suggested structure, you want to use linking devices to link paragraphs to each other as necessary. For example, to begin, additionally, furthermore, meanwhile. Then you also want to use these in your sentences to link sentences within a paragraph. And don't overuse them, okay? Don't overuse them. And then you want to ensure that your body paragraphs are about 1 bullet point each. You don't want to mix bullet points. Keep them separate in separate paragraphs. Now, providing cohesion, this refers to the connections within and between the sentences that make your response easy to read, as I said. Now, what to use? We want to use pronouns. You want to use these instead of important nouns, such as names or specific terms, to connect one sentence to the next. Doing this avoids repetition. So for instance, if you're talking about a specific person, in the first sentence you would use that person's name, and the next person you might use he or her, him or her, he or she. those pronouns, rather than having to say the name again. Okay, that avoids repetition, and you want to keep using that, and maybe occasionally use the name of that noun. So, but you don't want to keep using it in every single sentence or a lot. Then you want to use linking words and phrases, and again, use these to connect your ideas and to highlight the reasons for writing. And you want to use these appropriately and avoid overusing. Then you want to, so some common linking words are here that I'm giving you, but I want you to study these, okay? Study these linking words and also phrases. So when we're talking about sequence of ideas, we can say first, then, a week ago, later, when I first knew about this, reasons for something, because, given that, for this reason, I suggest. So those are some linking words and phrases for reasons for something. Additional ideas. When you want to add additional ideas, we can use moreover, furthermore, another issue I'm facing, for example. And then if we want to give concessions, such as kind of giving in, or giving to the other side despite, although, whereas, those are good ones for that, especially when we want to talk about something that's opposite. Then conclusion, when we want to make a conclusion, therefore, thus, consequently. So those are some common linking words. And again, I really encourage you guys to look up signal words and phrases, linking devices. They're all the same thing. You can find lots of websites on these for free. And these are really important for your writing and speaking. And so I really encourage you guys to look these up. Now, to review, achieving 8 bands for coherence and cohesion, there's 3 things that you need to do. Now, to go, and these are from going from band 6 to band 8. And so, first, organize your letter logically. Follow that structure I've given you, and that's a good structure to follow. If you don't remember, go back and review this lesson. Go back to the lesson, I don't remember which one it was, but go back to the lesson where I talk about structure. I also talk about it in a couple other lessons, so go back and review those. But organize your letter logically. The pattern should be clear in both paragraph and sentence level. Then use linking words and phrases appropriately. And finally, use pronouns to reduce repetition. Okay, so that's it for today. I really want to thank you for joining me. It's really a pleasure seeing you guys, being here with you. Join me next time, and we're going to cover lesson 11. I'm not sure what that is, or at least I'm not going to tell you. I want you guys to come back and with anticipation. What is he going to talk about next? Okay, so that's it for today. I want to thank you for joining me. You guys have great practice for preparing for IELTS, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.